Well, let me just start by talking about, when you think about why are we different from any other festival, I think the event we're doing opening night or the night before opening night, the expanded cinema on the Omni really encapsulates everything about why we're completely different than anybody else. And so if you don't know about what we're talking about, we've got together 14 artists to create new work for the Omni Theater that will play on Wednesday night about 8:30 with a synchronized soundtrack on KXT. And so, you know, basically, I'll give you the very quick story, as quick as I can. You know, I believe that, you know, if you think about architecture in a city, in a walking city, there is wonderful things as you walk around. We are not in the old-fashioned city. The next stage of the new city is these buildings that have interesting shapes. We have those. The next stage after that are shapes with lights on them. We have those, right? The next stage of evolution are buildings with lots of lights on them, where the lights are the medium. And the Omni is the beginning of the new kind of architecture for the new city. And we at the Video Festival are not just having, you know, whoever is the guy who happens to do this, but we're getting artists to think about how we can work with that material to create something new, interesting, and exciting. I mean, and this is the kind of spirit that we've been doing for 25 years. You know, what are the interesting possibilities of new technology, and how can artists work with them in effect? And that's not even, that's before the festival even begins, you know? And then we have a film that's after the festival actually ends. So the festival officially ends on Sunday, and then Monday night we're doing this new series. We're showing this film called The Battle for Brooklyn, which is a film that we did a works in progress screening of. And it's about this community in Brooklyn where the new stadium is happening, and they were trying to fight being evicted. And it just so happens this is right about the time when the new Brooklyn Stadium will open up. So that's why we're showing it then. So it's like I will be half awake and conscious and doing a Q&A after that film, and that'll be at the Royal Studio.
We definitely need to be there to watch your Q&A then.
Yes. I can do a Q&A in my sleep, and I will prove it.
What are some of the challenges of doing an alternative film festival in a city that's not really always known for being kind of things like that?
It's a challenge, and every challenge is an opportunity. You know, it's a lot easier to program the work we do in New York and LA and San Francisco particularly, and even Austin. But there, that's like, there's 16 festivals that do the same thing. It's like just another one of these things that's doing alternative work. I think here it's a bigger deal because people aren't aware of what's out there. There is nothing like what we show, and if we don't show these pieces, probably nobody else will show them. So we kind of bring in, you know, all kinds of different crowds, and I think that there are people over the years. There would be a community of people who don't see each other at all except when they come to the festival. And there's this kind of like, oh yeah, oh good to see you, that's really great. And you know, people who are sort of searching for something different, right? And let me also say that when we started in 1987, there was only the USA Film Festival. And then it was our mission to cover a lot more ground. Because there was no African American festival, there was no Latino festival, there was no gay and lesbian festival. So it was up to us to program a lot of different areas. There wasn't even an Asian festival, so we were doing anime and a lot of other things like that. Over the years, we have been really gracious to have lots of good festivals. I mean, we have a rich festival community with a lot of incredibly good programmers. So our focus shifts. Because, you know, we do have work from all of those areas, but we used to have 3 or 4 or 5, now we have 1. We just picked something from each of those to sort of keep that going. So our role is sort of different. I think it's really kind of wonderful. The challenge, of course, the biggest challenge for us is that we really don't, and it's probably has a lot to do with my own faults, we don't do a lot with personalities and celebrities. We are, you know, festivals tend to do well when you get celebrities. You know, that's just, I'm interested in content, I'm interested in change, I'm not interested in a red carpet, you know. Although red is our color. But, you know, one of the things we're doing this year is we do this program called Doing the Right Thing, where we work with the Dallas Producers Association and ask them to get together a reel of the PSAs that people do, because a lot of the great work that producers have are the things they do for free. And they get shown on TV or someplace and nobody else gets to see them. And I think it's worth like putting them all together and celebrating the people who made these because they look really, really cool. We also stress way too much about like the festival bumpers and the intros and our poster image and our design and all of the little details that to me define us and give a sense of who we are that's different. And I think that's really great. I mean, and all of this other kind of extraneous other stuff that I don't know how many people care about, but I care deeply. Right? This year, we are publishing 5 different ways in our schedule. 5 ways. This is like incredible, right? Mm-hmm. We have the program book and the website. Everybody's got those, right? Wait till you see our iPhone app. It is so rocking. It's just really great. And then we have an ebook and an iBook. And both of those are going to be really great. And I think that, you know, 3 years from now, every festival is going to have an ebook and an iBook. It's like, why not? It's like creating an iBook is a really simple thing. It's drag and drop. And you can have it on your iPad or your iPhone. You can have interactive videos in there. You can do all kinds of things really fascinating. Your ads can be video ads. It changes what information you have to make decisions about what to go see, which is always the main thing. When you go to any festival, it's like, what do I see? Oh my God, I didn't do my homework. What do I want to do?
And I'd like to say that, you know, Boston gets known for independent films, and Dallas has a reputation for bad reality TV, but we have very wonderful films by people in Dallas, and I hope we'll combat that. The Playroom, the Beat Hotel, the Mondells, and all the, a lot of the Texas show, the North Texas.
Individuals can make better films. And so what you see is the quality of photography gets substantially better. There isn't that sort of, what you say, the grunge factor. And editing has gotten much better, which means that our audiences are much more sophisticated. If we think about what documentaries looked like in the 80s, there was things that were out of focus, there were things that were slow. Now, audience expectations on documentaries are as high on production value as they are for dramatic films. And that's because the technology sort of made that happen. It's just sort of worked that way. For us, the themes that we show have been pretty consistent. We show work about television, about classic television, how things evolve, about how media affects us. We have documentaries about issues. We have, what we think is the coming edge of video art. We show the SIGGRAPH programs, the London International Advertising Awards, things we've shown forever that we think are really kind of great. We find interesting dramatic films. We don't show as many dramatic films as other festivals do because I think they do that better. We show things that we think are different, unique, and are doing things in a kind of interesting way. So that's why we don't show nearly as much. But it's like this year we're showing a Hal Hartley film, and I think Hal Hartley is somebody who's always worth watching. Even when he's not at his absolute best, he always has things that are fascinating. And this is a film that nobody's paid attention to. I think people are going to really enjoy.